Hi guys, so this was a project. Like our project was to mm, migrate the existing Mifos web application to a new structure that follows a micro-fronted approach. So, like we needed to convert our Mifos web app to a micro-frontend architecture. So, go to the next slide, Vikas.
Mhm.
So, like what's micro-frontend architecture? So, it is a design approach in which a front-end app is decomposed into individual and independent micro apps. So they work independently and like we can compose into one application for user using either client side or server side composition technique. This micro front-end architecture came from only like microservices which we have in the backend side. So from there only micro front-end architecture came and like uh, next slide, because so why a micro front-end architecture? So as we know, like disadvantages of micro front-end, like monolith architecture is like limited scalability and slow development. So like if one part of application needs more resources, the entire system needs to scale. So which leads to inefficient use of resources. So that's why, and like also slow development in the monolith architecture, like as the code grows, adding new feature or fixing bugs become more complex and time consuming. So it can slow down the development cycle also. So that's why we thought like we should bring the microfront architecture. So like this is a diagram for monolith front end and like micro front end architecture. Like if we have one application in the front end, so there will be like two microservices. So we only have one monolith front end, but right now we converted that web front end to a micro front end architecture in which we can have different microservices in the backend also and different micro front end in the front end also. So now Vikas will carry on.
So, thank you, Pushpendra. From here, we have project components. In our application, we have currently four components. First one is micro Mifos application. Second, Mifos library, Fintech client, and Mifos cell. So, Mifos app is currently the main application where all the modules and components are there, and library has the reusable components and UI and utility function. All the things are there in library that will be reusable by a different application, but here we are using in application main application. Findia client is a service provider that fetch the data from API and talk with the backend and provide the services to library and application as well. And host application is where we will present all the application micro front end application at this place. We'll discuss more about Mifos Excel application. Until now, we have created our application in micro front-end structure approach. But if we want to really implement the micro front-end, we have to add the module federation. So module federation gives the capability to access the remote application in host application. So we have the remote application, the Mifos app, and the cell application, which is a host application. So from cell application, we can access the Mifos X application. So next, so here are the architecture right now, existing architecture of our application. So as we already discussed, the Findia client is a service provider, talk with backend and provide the services to Mifos X and library as well, and all the components and the all the modules reusable by the Mifos X application. And this is the cell application. And by the module federation, this is a remote application that is a micro frontend and will access this application in the Mifos cell application. This is the host application. Next is the future work. So the future work will be full micro front end implementation. So as we go on, we have to separate the Mifos X application in several parts, several modules. So every one will be the independently micro front end. So that will be also will more usable at the end. So mm, will implement this in future, and obviously we have to enhance the performance. So basically by for enhancing the performance we have to lazy load. We have so much micro front end applications, so accessing all of them is little bit complex. So we will implement the lazy load, the things that will load efficiently. And also we have to implement a module federation, advanced module federation, so two micro frontends also talk with each other. And in this process we'll get the all issues and bugs. Also we have to resolve all the things. The next is, yeah, so this is the micro front-end architecture, and this was the main thing why we are converted the application in micro front-end architecture, because we have, several parts of Mifos application uh, will be create will we create in future, because right now we have only one parts, but in future we can divide in multiple parts, like part A, part B, and part C. And uh, obviously if we want to add more parts, more components in that, and that will be a separate micro frontend. We can also have the capability to do in a different tech stack, like here we are doing in React, Vue, and Angular. So that will be also a good thing in micro frontend. Mm, so thank you. That's all about the our project. And lastly, I would like to thank Mifos organization who gave me this wonderful opportunity, and also thank you to Alberto and Pushpen who has been collaborated with us to build this application.